So, WrestleMania 31 finally kicks off. The official card begins. The fireworks go off. We get America the Beautiful being sung. That was awesome. And then we get a video package of LL Cool J introducing um, WrestleMania 31 with the whole play button and network type deal and whatever. That was pretty cool. But uh, so we get that, and we go right into our first match, which was the Intercontinental Championship match. Now, I'm not sure if this was caught on the network or the pre-show or whatever. You guys let me know if it was, but us there in the audience, we got to see Pat Patterson come down to the ring with the Intercontinental Championship belt to present it and be hoisted up top. And that was really cool because Pat Patterson, as you guys know, first Intercontinental Champion of all time, and that was just a great moment. So anyway, the WrestleMania 31 kicks off with the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. First time the Intercontinental Championship was being defended in a ladder match since WrestleMania 10. It's been 21 years, and it was a fucking awesome match. A lot of people, for some reason, shitted all over this match. I mean, really shitted on this match. Well, they shitted on all the other matches too, because WrestleMania 31 was gonna be the worst of all time. But anyway, it was a great match. Yes, okay, the storyline didn't make any fucking sense. It was a terrible storyline. The whole back and forth and everyone exchanging the title, yes, that was fucking stupid. But who cares? Like I said, who gives a shit about the storylines? Does anyone ever remember the storylines? I mean, some people do, but for the most part, you just remember the matches. As long as the match pays off, who gives a shit? The match was great. The Intercontinental Championship ladder match was fucking awesome. Everybody got their great spots in. Everyone looked good. Dean Ambrose flying off the ladder, doing his thing, taking out everybody. One odd moment in the match, Stardust, he actually brings out this ladder called the Starbird. This glittered up looking ladder. Looks so damn ridiculous. But, Wade Barrett has some bad news for Stardust, because he dismantles the Starbird and then beats him with it. Beats the hell out of him with it. And it was pretty fucking awesome. But anyway, moving on. Luke Harper. He looked great in that match. He dominated for a while. He was taking out everybody. And I was loving it because Luke Harper is one of the most underrated wrestlers on the main roster. He's an underrated big man. I love Luke Harper, and wouldn't have minded him win the championship belt, the IC belt. But he was taking out everybody, and even completely took out Dean Ambrose for good. Because Dean Ambrose was sitting on top of the ladder. He was climbing the ladder. He was on there. And Luke Harper just grabs him and puts him in the powerbomb position. And powerbombs him outside the ring through the ladder. There was a ladder sitting on the ring, just hanging there between the ring and the fucking what's it called, the railing or whatever. And Dean Ambrose just goes right through it, and he's done for the match. That was a huge holy shit moment. That was crazy. I mean, it kind of sucked to see Dean Ambrose out of the match for the rest for good, but that was a crazy fucking moment. And then Wade Barrett, continuing to pick on Stardust, gives him one hell of a superplex. Wade Barrett gives Stardust one hell of a superplex off the tall ladder and just sends him flying. That was a holy shit moment. And then, but it all comes down to Daniel Bryan climbing the tall ladder, and looks like he's going to pick up the victory. Dolph Ziggler, he runs up there as quick as he can, and starts exchanging blows with Daniel Bryan. And then they get into a head-butting deal. Um, I don't know what Dolph Ziggler was thinking. You don't headbutt a goat, Dolph. You're not going to win that one. And he didn't. Because Daniel Bryan sent him flying off the ladder. He grabs the IC belt and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. And leading everyone in the Yes movement. And that was awesome. I knew as well as everybody else did that Daniel Bryan was going to walk out of there with the IC Championship. And I'm glad he did, because it brings legitimacy to the belt, and we're going to see a lot of great matches come from that division now. So yeah, it was a great match. Don't know why so many people were fucking shitting all over it, but it was a great match. On to the next match. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins with J&J Security. The match starts off with Orton getting the better of Rollins, and he dominates him for a good while. Even starts beating up JJ Security and gives him a double DDT. But what I loved about this match, and why I thought it was going to steal the show prior to WrestleMania, is because these two guys are just fucking phenomenal opportunists. And it just makes so much sense to put them together for a WrestleMania match. And they sure as hell showcased that at WrestleMania 31. They each took their opportunities. Every opportunity that was given, they fucking took advantage of their opponent. And showcasing the best of their abilities. And it was just great. A great match with a lot of great false finishes. RKOs to J&J Security. I thought we were going to see Seth Rollins do his Phoenix Splash, but that didn't happen. Randy Orton got out of the way, and going into this match, I wasn't sure who was going to win, and that's what I liked about it. I wasn't really exactly sure who was going to win. I was leaning a little bit more towards Rollins, but couldn't really be sure. And it looked like Rollins was actually going to win. He got it set up to where he was going to do the curb stop on Randy Orton, and he goes for it, and that leads to the best RKO out of nowhere ever. Brutal RKO. Randy Orton hits it. He fucking nails him. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Picks up the victory. And that was a great ass match. Now that's one match that a lot of people were high on. And it delivered. It was a great match. On to the next match. Triple H versus Sting. Sting's entrance. It was awesome. He had this Japanese thing going on, and it was pretty cool. It was really cool. I didn't understand it. I don't get it. I nobody understood it, but it was cool. So yeah. But Triple H's entrance. Holy shit. This guy. Does anybody have more badass entrances at WrestleMania? I mean, we've had some great ones, but Triple H has a great WrestleMania entrance every fucking time. And this year was no different. He comes out there with the whole Terminator gimmick. He even has a Arnold Schwarzenegger, who got into the Hall of Fame, do a video package for him, and he did this little Terminator little sight thing where it was targeting, looking at the audience, scanning and everything, and it found Sting and it said target identified, and that was pretty cool. It had all the Terminators rise up. That was fucking awesome. And then Triple H rises up, and in his Triple H mask, set to the Terminator style, and the exoskeleton, and carrying the Terminator skulls. That was fucking awesome. That was badass. And so great entrance for Triple H. And And so, about after, 30, 40 minutes of entrances from these two guys, they finally get into the ring and they have the ultimate stare down. Everybody starts marking out. It was awesome. We finally get to see Sting and Triple H at WrestleMania against each other. Now, everybody wanted to see Sting versus Undertaker's first match, but this is badass too. The stare down was awesome. They finally squared off, locked up. They went to the first while they were just doing basic stuff, getting a good feel for each other because they never wrestled before. But eventually Sting ends up getting the better of Triple H and ends up getting him eventually into the Scorpion Deathlock. And it looks like it's pretty much over for Triple H. That is until DX music hits. And DX comes out. X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn. They come flying down to the ring. Holy shit. DX is there. And they come. But Sting starts taking him out. And he just starts clearing him out. And even goes up to the top rope and flies outside the ring, taking them all out. Wow. That was pretty badass. But Triple H and Sting eventually get back into the ring. Billy Gunn distracts Sting, allowing Triple H to attack Sting and give him the pedigree. And he goes for the pin, but only gets a 2 count. Awesome. And then Triple H goes for his sledgehammer. And things don't look pretty good for Sting. That is until NWO music hits. And out comes Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and even Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I can't tell you how much the crowd was just marking the fuck out at that point. NWO versus DX. Sting's at WrestleMania. NWO versus DX. That was fucking awesome. So NWO comes down to the ring, starts making their way to the ring. They take out DX, and Sting puts Triple H back into the Deathlock again. Meanwhile, Triple H is desperately reaching for his sledgehammer, but Hollywood Hulk Hogan says, Triple H, and takes it away from him. And so Sting has Triple H right where he wants him. And meanwhile, outside the ring, NWO and DX start taking turns taking each other out. And that was just fucking crazy. And Triple H finally eventually grabs the rope for a rope break to get Sting off the hold. But Sting ends up putting him back into the Deathlock, and it's not looking good for Triple H again. That is until Shawn fucking Michaels, HBK, out of nowhere, is in the ring. He's tuned up the band, and he goes for the super kick and nails Sting. And then Shawn Michaels is looking over at Sting as he's laid out. Holy shit. Nobody was expecting any of this. We got to see HBK super kick Sting. And then Triple H, he goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out. This is fucking awesome. This match is fucking awesome. Then Triple H, he goes for his sledgehammer once again and makes his way towards Sting. Sting's in the corner and gets a little help from Scott Hall, who hands him Sting's bat. And then we get an ultimate stare down. Triple H with his hammer, Sting with his bat, and then Sting eventually breaks Triple H's sledgehammer. And Triple H is reeling, he's crawling back, he's like, no, 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 wait, hold on. And then Sting starts beating down on Triple H down in the corner, and goes back to the other corner and starts um, like he's gonna make a charge at Triple H, who takes the sledgehammer, who has it in his hand, and nails Sting in the face, knocking him out. Well, didn't knock him out, but took him down, and goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Triple H wins. Now, I and a lot of other people were pretty bummed out that Triple H won. We were hoping Sting, after 14 years of trying to make it back to WWE, we figured he was gonna, get the victory, but that didn't happen, and that kind of sucks. But it's okay. I mean, I guess because I think Sting's gonna have another match at WrestleMania next year. But after the match was over, you have NWO picking up Sting, Triple H with DX, and Triple H walks over to Sting and offers his hand. They shake hands out of respect, and it was a great moment. Sting versus Triple H did not disappoint. It was fucking amazing moment that will live forever, and just a great fucking moment. Great match. So after all that, after all those incredible matches, the 2 pre-shows, the Intercontinental match, the Rollins and Orton match, Triple H and Sting, we get a bit of a cool down at WrestleMania. We have a Daniel Bryan segment backstage where he ends up getting congratulated by Pat Patterson, Ricky Dragon Steamboat, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, even Bret Hart, and they all start in a yes chant. Yes, yes, yes. Dude, it was just so fucking awesome seeing Bret Hart and Ric Flair and Piper and all those guys just doing the yes chant. And then out comes Ron Simmons, and he's looking at all of them, and they stop, and they're all just looking at Ron Simmons. And then Maria asks Ron Simmons, "Have you ever won the Intercontinental Championship?" And Ron Simmons looks at her, and he gives her a damn. And then everybody else proceeds with the yes, yes, yes. That was an awesome segment. And then after that, we get our WrestleMania theme concert, a little show. Now, everyone hated that. Most people hated it, and I understand why. You get guys getting bumped off the main roster while you're having these fucking concerts, and it could be more time for wrestling. But my take on it is, it's gonna happen. You know why they're doing it. They've been doing it since WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2. It's not just, WrestleMania isn't just for the wrestling. I know us wrestling fans wish it was just all wrestling and nothing else, but that's not what WrestleMania is about. It's not what it's ever been about. It's the entertainment factor there too. And you know what? And I gotta say, WrestleMania 31 theme song was actually pretty good. I liked it. It was probably one of their better theme songs in a long time. And I thought it was pretty cool seeing Travis Barker live in person on the drums. And my girlfriend Kia, she really liked it. She enjoyed seeing that very much. But it is what it is, guys. But use the time, I guess, to go grab yourself another beer or some nachos or something. Or maybe even use the restroom. No, don't use the restroom. That's coming up next. And that brings me to the Divas match. The Divas tag team match. AJ and Paige versus the fucking atrocious thing to happen to women's wrestling in a long time, the Bellas. fucking Bellas. Now, I'm just kidding about the whole bathroom thing. Kinda, sorta, maybe. But, god damn. When the Bellas involved, it just sucks. I'm sorry. It just sucks. I love Paige. I love AJ. Especially AJ. But I can't stand seeing the Bellas. I can't stand them. They fucking bore the shit out of me. I know why a lot of the other guys and, like them, they're hot and everything, but come on. They're shit. Talk about a waste of time. Those two are a waste of time. Fuck, they're terrible wrestlers. But, whatever. AJ and Paige, they pick up the victory. I was kind of thinking that we were going to see a face or a heel turn, but no, nothing. AJ and Paige pick up the victory. And looking back on it now, I'm glad I didn't use the restroom break during that match, because turns out it ends up being AJ's last WrestleMania match, and that really sucks. But yeah, Divas match is what it was, I guess. So yeah, not much to say there, but whatever. And then after that, after the Divas match, we get our Hall of Fame bow. All the Hall of Famers come out there and they take their WrestleMania bow, which is always a great moment. It was really cool seeing all them. Like I said, I thought the Hall of Fame was pretty damn good this year, but that's just me. So on to our next match: John Cena versus Rusev, the United States Champion, with Lana. Rusev, I thought, had a pretty damn cool entrance. They got the Russian music playing. Lana's marching down the ramp with the Russian soldiers with the flag, and she's carrying the U.S. belt. I thought that was pretty cool. And then Rusev comes in on a tank, and then the cannons fire off. He had a pretty damn cool entrance. And then John Cena had his cheesy all-American entrance, whatever. So John Cena, he does his thing, and then the match starts, and we get pretty much, for the most part, a typical John Cena match with all the same spots you've seen in pretty much every fucking John Cena match. That is until towards the end, when John Cena throws everybody for a loop. He does a new move. A new fucking move. And it was actually pretty fucking cool. He jumps off the second rope and stuns Rusev. I was taken back by it. I couldn't believe it. John Cena did a new move. That was pretty fucking cool. But then after that, Rusev puts Cena in the Accolade. And Super Cena, the first person to break the Accolade. He breaks the Accolade, and Cena puts Rusev in the STF. And then Cena gets distracted by Lana, who even threw a shoe at him. And then he makes his way over to Lana, and at first it seems like her plan seems to be going pretty well, because Rusev is right behind Cena, ready to pounce on him. And then he starts charging towards Cena. Cena catches Rusev at the last second, dips out of the way, and Rusev just nails Lana, sending her flying. And then Cena puts Rusev in the AA and gets the 1-2-3, gets the victory, and John Cena becomes the new United States Champion. Now, I really wish Rusev would have won, because that would have made him look just even more stronger. I would have had him going undefeated all the way to WrestleMania 32. But, it is what it is. I'm just happy John Cena's not in the main event. I'm happy he's no longer going after the World Heavyweight Championship. and that he's doing the mid card titles, the U.S. title. He's gonna bring. I like that because he's gonna bring some legitimacy towards the U.S. title. And back when he was the U.S. champion, which he won for the first time at WrestleMania 20, which was his debut, uh, 11 years uh, ago. We all everybody liked John Cena when he was U.S. champion. Everybody liked John Cena then. So now John Cena's back in the U.S. title scene, and I think that's good for the title because he's going to be putting that up on the for a challenge all the time. So you know, like I said, it could be worse. John Cena could be in the main event. So it is what it is. And I wish Rusev would have won, but John Cena winning and being in the title in the U.S. title division, that's a good place for him. So yeah, and and Rusev was fucking pissed at Lana, who ended up not being by his side the next time on Raw. So bye bye Lana. Now next we get the Triple H Stephanie segment. Triple H and Stephanie, they come out and they start blowing smoke up their ass, talking about how WrestleMania is awesome and it's all because of the McMahons and Stephanie and Triple H. And then Triple H starts going off and starts talking about how, he felt like he is kicking the shit out of everybody. Everyone, the whole universe, everyone that was sitting there in the arena, to everyone watching the network, he was just talking about how he just owns them, and just going on, and that is until The Rock comes out of nowhere. Nobody saw this shit coming. Nobody. The Rock's music hits, and everyone starts marking out. I'm just jumping out of my seat. I'm like, ah! And everyone's doing the same thing. Fucking The Rock comes out. He comes down to the ring, and he does his whole Rock thing, and he starts talking shit to him and doing all that, and that was fucking awesome. But then Stephanie starts back talking The Rock and basically tells him to get the hell out of the ring. And then kind of like eggs him on, saying, well, what are you going to do? You going to hit me? And then The Rock just kind of goes, okay, all right. Gets out the ring. Okay. And makes his way over towards Ronda Rousey. And she hops over the barricade, and they make their way into the ring. And everyone is going nuts. Ronda Rousey and The Rock fucking going toe to toe with Triple H and Stephanie, staring them down. Stephanie's looking a little bit nervous because Ronda's gonna kill you, and but Steph ends up fucking, her ego gets in the way and she starts tough talking Ronda Rousey, which you just don't do. Even most men wouldn't do that. And then Ronda Rousey and The Rock together clear out Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and that was fucking awesome. The Rock and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania cleared out the ring of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Probably leading up to something down the line. I think we will see something with Ronda Rousey in the future. But that segment, although it was 20 minutes long, was pretty damn fucking awesome. And that brings us to our next match. The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt came out with this awesome entrance. These scarecrows were all just standing around. And as he's walking, making his way towards the ring, down the ramp, he animates the scarecrows to life. And they just start following him down to the ring. And that was fucking awesome. That was one of the coolest entrances I've ever seen. That was pretty creepy. It was awesome. And then next we get Undertaker's entrance. And Undertaker's entrance was fairly simple, But you know, it was awesome seeing him back for the first time since WrestleMania 30. You know, it's just always a great feeling to see that feeling when Undertaker's music hits and he comes out. It's just awesome. But anyway, uh, the match starts off with Undertaker giving the boot to the face to Bray Wyatt. And he takes control of the match pretty damn early and for a good while. And even coming out with some of his old school moves. Walking the ropes. That was fucking awesome. Doing the leg drop on Bray Wyatt. The Undertaker looked good. He looked better than he did last year. I guess he did a lot of good rehabbing, working out, whatever, but he looked really good. But Bray Wyatt eventually finally gets his first shot by sending Taker to the floor. Which eventually leads him setting up Undertaker for his sister Abigail. But Undertaker isn't having it by going for Bray Wyatt's throat and giving him a chokeslam. That was pretty sweet. And then Taker signals, it's over. And Taker gives Bray a tombstone pile driver, goes for the pin, but Bray kicks out. Taker, his face, he can't believe it. He's stunned. He can't believe it. Then Taker calls for another tombstone, but Bray reverses and hits Sister Abigail. Bray goes for the pin. Taker kicks out. Bray can't believe it. They both lay there exhausted. The ref's counting 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden, Bray gets up and does his backwards crawl and makes his way towards the Undertaker. And then Undertaker just sits up the way he does, you know what I'm talking about, and he locks eyes with Bray, and Bray is staring, and they both just make their way up. They get up, and then an awesome chant breaks out. Because it was fucking awesome. That was pretty fucking cool. And then they start exchanging blows. And then Bray mocks Undertaker. He does this to him. He mocks Undertaker. And he puts Undertaker in the Sister Abigail. Wyatt then whispers into Taker's ear. Probably saying something along the lines of, rest in peace, dead man. And I thought it was over. I thought once he whispered in his ear, I was like, oh, there it is. It's over. I guess Bray's going to go over. Because I wasn't really sure who was going to win this match. But Undertaker then gets out of Sister Abigail and puts Bray for another tombstone and pins Bray Wyatt 1, 2, 3. It was a great match. And all the assholes out there that said, I don't understand the match. I don't get it. Why are they doing it? I don't want to see Undertaker. Fuck you. It was a great match. You know, yeah, right, okay, the build-up wasn't all that great, but who gives a fuck? The match was awesome. It was awesome. And I think Undertaker looked pretty damn good enough for another WrestleMania match. So, I think we'll be seeing Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. So, great match. And then finally we come to our main event. The World Heavyweight Championship match, Roman Reigns versus the champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman does his introduction of Brock Lesnar, and it's fucking awesome. And the match started off what everybody was wanting to see: Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of Roman Reigns, and and he's just whooping his ass. And really early, he gives him a suplex and then a fucking F5 and goes for the pin. And I'm thinking, oh my god, is this about to be a squash match? Is this over already? But goes for 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, however, kicks out at 2. And then Brock is just continuing to beat down Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns all the while is just laughing. It looked fucking crazy. He looked nuts. He was just taking his beating and just like laughing and smiling, kind of like a psycho. And Reigns eventually gets some shots in on Lesnar, and even busts his he busts him open and starts bleeding. But however, Brock Lesnar just basically just continued to just dominate Lesnar throughout the entire match and setting him into Suplex City, bitch. That was fucking awesome. When he said that, that was fucking cool. Suplex City, bitch. But then, and then after that, Brock Lesnar hits his 5th and 6th suplex. I mean, damn. Brock then sends Reigns out of the ring with a clothesline from hell. While outside, Reigns gets some shot in on Brock on the outside of the ring. But that just pisses off Brock even more. And Brock does his 7th suplex, sending Roman Reigns back into the ring, where he does his 8th suplex to Roman Reigns. And then Brock goes for his 2nd F5, goes for the pin, but Reigns kicks out at 2. The fans are pissed. They're like, oh god, they're making him look all crazy strong, right? Like Cena, but whatever. But Brock gets real heated after that, and he just takes off his gloves. It's serious now. It's on. And then Brock starts punching Reigns. Reigns is just beaten down and just continuing to like just kind of give this psychotic looking smile and laugh. And Roman Reigns himself is all busted up and bleeding. And then Brock gives Reigns his 9th and 10th suplex. And then a third F5. And then goes for another pin. 1, 2, 2. Reigns kicks out at 2. All the crowd's pissed off. Brock then sends Reigns outside the ring and tries to Irish whip him into the pole. But Reigns reverses and sends Lesnar into the pole and then really busts open Brock Lesnar, and he's really bleeding. He's got blood all over his face. They get back into the ring. Roman Reigns hits Brock with a Superman punch and then another Superman punch, and somehow Lesnar is still on his fucking feet. And then Reigns goes for a 3rd Superman punch, but this time Brock was ready for it and moves out of the way and gets ready to give another suplex. But Reigns gets out of it by hitting Brock Lesnar and hits him with a 3rd Superman punch. And then Reigns gives Brock Lesnar his 2nd spear of the match. And then he goes for the pin on Lesnar. 1, 2, 2. Lesnar kicks out at 2. And then Roman Reigns sets up for another fucking Superman punch. I mean, holy shit. But Brock catches it this time, and Reigns gets into his 4th F5. 4th F5. Wow. And they're both just laying there. And then Michael Cole, I think it was, says something along the lines of, who's going to capitalize? And that's when Rollins' music hits. His music hits. Everybody goes fucking crazy. I start jumping up and down. Everybody's jumping up and down. Everyone's going fucking crazy. And Rollins makes his way towards the ring. He cashes in his Money in the Bank. What's her name announces that it's now a triple threat match. Rollins kicks out Reigns out of the ring. He curb stomps Lesnar. And then he kind of just waits to give around the corner, and while Brock is starting to get up, and he makes his way for another curb stomp on Brock Lesnar, but Brock is ready for Rollins, and he puts him into the F5 position, and out of nowhere, Reigns spears Brock Lesnar, dropping Rollins to the floor, and Reigns Brock kind of like rolls out of the way, and then Rollins gets back on his feet, and then he curb stomped Roman Reigns, and then he goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. We have a new champion. Seth Rollins wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. We have a new champion. He didn't pin Brock Lesnar, but he didn't have to. we have a new champion, and everyone loves it because everyone likes Seth Rollins, pretty much. And so yeah, that was pretty fucking cool. That was awesome, and you know, I wouldn't have mind if Roman Reigns would have won. I wouldn't have mind because I would rather have uh, the title belt come back to a full timer and be back on the main roster full time. But Seth Rollins winning is even better to me. And so this WrestleMania 31 was, I think, one of the great WrestleManias of all time, because it was just phenomenal from start to finish. It was great. Now, again, like I said, the storylines, they weren't all that great, but you know what? Who gives a shit? Do you remember the storylines of WrestleMania just 5 years ago? Probably not. So who gives a fuck? What we remember is the matches. And the matches this year were awesome. Storyline and the build-up was fucking horseshit. It was one of the worst of all time, but this was one of the best WrestleManias of all time. And you know what? And to all the people who thought and were sure that it was gonna suck, fuck you. You were wrong. You gotta give it a chance. And a lot of people were proven wrong that night. A lot of people who bought tickets to WrestleMania 31 sold their tickets and put them up on StubHub, refused to watch it on network, which is ridiculous. And so, if you haven't watched WrestleMania 31 for whatever reason, go watch it. Go watch it. And if you haven't, because out of protest, get your head out your ass. Don't be one of those fucking neg marks, those assholes, those ass marks, who hates everything, and just never satisfied. This was a fucking good ass WrestleMania. And if you haven't watched it, watch it. And if you have already watched it, and you're like myself and talking about it, or maybe watching this review gets you all excited about it all over again, go rewatch it. Go grab some snacks, go grab some drinks, and rewatch one of the great WrestleManias of all time. Now, where exactly does it rank? Well, I don't know. That's a video for another time. But WrestleMania 31, it had its holy shit moments. It had its this is awesome moments. It had a face turn. It had, for the first time since WrestleMania 10, the Intercontinental Championship defended in the ladder match. It had 8 WrestleMania debuts, including Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Paige, The Ascension, Adam Rose, Rusev, Hideo Itami, and of course Sting. It had 3 title changes. It had 4 special appearances that nobody saw coming. It had a first ever cashing in of the Money in the Bank and actually being successful. First time it's ever happened. And of course, a new move from John Cena. This was a great WrestleMania, and I really enjoyed watching it, rewatching it after being there in attendance. I had a blast. It was great. I also had a great time reviewing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And like I said, hopefully watching this makes you want to go rewatch it again. And if you haven't watched it, what the hell are you waiting for? But I had a great time reviewing this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next review.